It was a still Sunday morning in Brooklyn when alerts began flooding in, phones vibrating, YouTube notifications popping up, and timelines filling rapidly. A live message had just been broadcast from Ouagadougou, the heart of Burkina Faso. But this wasn't your usual political address. It was raw, unfiltered, deeply personal. The speaker was Captain Ibrahim Traore, the bold young leader who had defied the odds, ousted neo-colonial forces, and reclaimed control of his nation from France's grip. But this wasn't a message for his people alone. His words were meant for a specific group. To my African family across the ocean, in the Americas, the Caribbean, Brazil, and wherever our bloodline runs, I speak to you today from the soil of your forebears. The camera stayed fixed on his face. Dressed plainly in his trademark uniform, Traore's eyes burned with steady passion. Behind him, no glitter or flags, only symbols of truth, relics, pre-colonial African maps, and portraits of heroes like Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and Malcolm X. For nearly 40 minutes, Traore spoke, and the impact rippled across black communities globally. He opened by confronting the wounds of slavery and imperialism, twin crimes that tore the African spirit apart. You were taken by force, shipped away, stripped of name, language, kin, and gods. But don't believe the lie that Africa forgot you. We never did. We could not. He addressed the shame Africans had been taught to feel, the manipulated version of history that claimed we sold our own. In truth, he said, most African kingdoms resisted. The betrayal came from European muskets, missionaries, then colonial schemes. They deleted your names in foreign lands. Beat your tongues from your mouths. But the sway of your walk, the rhythm in your heartbeat, that's Africa calling out. By this point, many viewers were in tears. Music in barbershops went quiet in Chicago. Beads were clutched tightly by elders in Atlanta. Activists in Harlem froze, sensing something ancient returning. Then Traore shifted tone. This is not a history lecture. We all know the chains. I'm here to say they are breaking again, and I want you to break them with us. He explained how Burkina Faso and neighboring Sahel nations were liberating themselves from French dominance, taking back their gold, their lands, their schools, and their dignity. They don't fear me because I hold office. They fear me because I resurrect the spirit of Sankara. They don't fear you because you march. They fear what would happen if we march together. Then came the groundbreaking revelation: Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger would launch a new citizenship program. All descendants of enslaved Africans would be eligible for fast-tracked citizenship, land access, and opportunities in rural development zones revitalized by African-led forces. If you feel out of place in America, understand this: you are not without home, only without land. And land can be restored. He grew intimate. To the youth in Oakland harassed daily by police, come and walk free. To the mother in New Orleans teaching her children truth, come touch the soil where our spirits once danced. To the artist in Atlanta, bring your talents home and help shape our future. And to the elder in Detroit carrying decades of grief, your resilience is sacred. He extended this message to black public figures, not with blame but with hope. Beyoncé, Kendrick, Oprah, Rihanna, Jay-Z, your power echoes louder here than there. Together, we can shift mountains. He unveiled the name of the initiative, Operation Sankofa, rooted in the Akan wisdom of returning to reclaim what was lost. Under this movement, nations cutting colonial ties would unite to build a Pan-African development highway for returnees, and health workers, educators, farmers, tech minds, artists, all were welcome. This is not about charity. We don't need saving, we need partners. You're not strangers, you're the pieces returning to the puzzle. He didn't sugarcoat the challenges. Africa is not Eden. We have pain, problems, and scars. But now we also have you, and that changes everything. When the stream ended, a powerful stillness spread. In South Chicago, Malik, a young teacher, sat motionless, phone in hand, weeping silently. In Atlanta, a Vietnam vet named Uncle Joe whispered, "Finally." In a dorm room in DC, a student named Amina began writing an open letter to Traore. Meanwhile, mainstream Western outlets reacted slowly and with skepticism. CNN and BBC downplayed it as symbolic. But online spaces, YouTube, Twitter, Afrocentric platforms, exploded. Was this real? A trap? Or the moment generations had awaited? 1 week later, the pushback began. Western media painted Traore as a rogue demagogue. Documents are leaked accusing him of disrupting regional stability. Sanctions mounted. But he stayed calm. Let them come. We survived empires. We endured coups. This time, we are not alone. Our kin are listening. In a second video, shorter but defiant, he declared, "We are not telling you to abandon your nations. We are inviting you to rediscover your roots. Don't view Africa as a tomb, but as a garden ready to grow." He extended an invitation for the first ever Diaspora Congress in Ouagadougou, scheduled for year's end. And the world responded. Flights filled from New York, London, Kingston, and more. Viral clips showed people quitting jobs, selling off belongings, and making their way to Africa. One such video showed 82-year-old Mama Ruth, cane in hand, suitcase in tow, saying, "I just want to touch the soil. Maybe even plant something." In the Bronx, a youth movement emerged, back to build, focused on African history, farming, and economics. Not everyone approved. Some feared mass departure. Others said it was naive. But the flame had been lit. Under the Sahel sun, Traore stood with arms open. By December, Ouagadougou had transformed. Airport gates were flooded with every shade of blackness: Afro-Caribbeans, African Americans, Brazilians, Haitians, and Europeans of African descent. Some wore African fabrics, others jeans and sneakers, but they all carried more than luggage. They carried purpose. The Congress opened not with a parade, but a drumbeat. No celebrity speakers, only elders, pouring libation into the ground, whispering to ancestors in Wolof, Yoruba, Twi, and Haitian Creole. Traore entered without a security detail. Silence greeted him. Not applause, silence sacred as prayer. Then, like a wave, our voices joined in a redemption song. "This is not a conference," he began. "It is a healing ritual disguised as a gathering." He introduced the Sankofa Pact, a multilingual charter outlining diasporans' rights and roles. Land would be leased, not sold. Businesses co-owned with communities. Schools would teach local dialects and global Black history. No extraction. Only rebuilding. He proposed a new global forum, the Black Global Assembly, outside the African Union, away from outside influence. Among attendees was Dr. Asha Walker, 34, a civil rights attorney from Detroit. She'd quit her farm and flown to Burkina Faso. "I spent years fighting for hunted Black youth. Now I want to help build a system that protects them from needing a courtroom." Kojo Bantu, a reggae artist from Jamaica, pledged a music studio in Bobo de Lasso. A Brazilian group offered to build eco-villages. Tech firms from Atlanta, Lagos, and Nairobi launched a plan for a secure Pan-African communication network. "Africa must speak for itself," Traore said. "Or we'll always be characters in someone else's script." Not all supported the shift. A military faction loyal to old training models grew restless. Rumors spread. France ran smear campaigns, photoshopped images, false claims of corruption, fabricated terrorist ties. Western news asked, "Is this a cult? Is Traore fueling delusion?" He answered calmly, "They fear us now because we build without their permission. This isn't fanaticism, it's a new foundation." Quietly, he organized a protection force, the Sankara Guard. Made up of diaspora ex-military